Rise Up Radar family. Man, I had a really fun conversation with my good buddy Chris. We recorded it, and it was so good. We cut it into two parts for you, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. But one little thing, we had some audio issues with the recording. I understand that, so they'll be resolved for our next show, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. Just power through, stick with me. We're going to have an awesome show. Let's get after it.
Rise up, winner!
Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Radar, where we keep the Falcons on your radar. Thank you for joining me, Stan Parker, for another episode. Let's have a ballin' show. You have a wealth of knowledge in this department, and I'm going just with what I see with my own eyes. And so, not going into the annals of history, which I know that you have seen some of that. So, what is your favorite Falcon of all time, or who is your favorite Falcon of all time?
This is hard.
Okay,
I wrote down 17 names.
stop playing, Chris. I'm sitting at my laptop, look at my screen, and I got two.
I wrote down 17 names, and I'm thinking, how am I going to decide who?
Put them in a hat.
Yeah, how am I going to decide who it is? Can I tell you some of these names, and then we can decide?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And run through them.
And they go from recent to a little further back because I'm a little bit older than you are.
Just a smidge there.
It starts with Steve Bartkowski.
Oh man, okay.
Because as a young whippersnapper, I went to the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, the
Right.
renowned stadium, on a Monday Night Football to watch them lose to the Seattle Seahawks. Get it? And I love Bartkowski. Jamal Anderson.
The Dirty Bird himself.
Yeah, running back for the
Yeah,
Super Bowl team.
He blew out his tires on the way to the championship.
Yeah,
there, they landed big.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
on
he's
Monday
dirty.
Night Football the next year after we went to the Super Bowl against Dallas. First game. Awful. Prime time.
Oh, easy prime. Like
Morton Anderson.
I wish that. Okay, hang on. back up. All right. So first off, I added someone to my list, but prime time. I understand it because the defensive back has a fluid. Like even back then was like they were hired guns. Jarrell Revis was a hired gun all of his career. You know, it's the nature of the beast of like high-powered defensive backs. But I really wish he would have stayed in Atlanta.
Oh,
like
me too. Me too.
And so that would have been like I would love to have seen him enshrined as a Falcon and like spend his career like embody Atlanta. I would love to have seen that. But
well, had he stayed, he would be a unanimous best ever Falcon, maybe.
Right. And we could have that conversation on a different pod
for sure,
a different episode because I think I know the answer off the bat when you said that, but it would be some debate about it.
Yeah.
So we'll write that in the. I'm actually about to type that up right now. All right. So Morton Anderson, what a spectacular pick, dude! I remember. So we had something or another happened. Like we got tickets to a monster truck rally, and we were like in the monster truck rally. They're in like the playoffs, and like Morton Anderson hits like this big kick, and it was like the kick to. And then the Vikings missed the kick to go to the Super Bowl. We were in a doggone monster truck rally. And I was I was really young, but like I remember like everybody crowding around in the common areas, like cheering and stuff like that. Like Morton Anderson, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
So that game when they were in the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was in Utah at Park City. Not Park City, Powder Mountain, skiing on a ski trip out west.
Isn't that crazy how like big events that
Sunday morning, because out there, the time change. So
oh my gosh.
I'm skiing with my wife and my in-laws, and I skied down to the lodge while they kept skiing and watched the game in the lodge with, 150 people crowded in that little lodge that I don't know. And when Minnesota kicker misses that kick, and he had not missed a field goal all year. All year.
Yeah.
just perfect. I think he hadn't missed a field goal, something crazy like that. He misses the field goal, and then Morton Anderson
bangs
gets a chance, and he made that kick. I'm hugging.
You don't
people.
even know. Yeah.
It's just
The
a
good old
memory
days.
that'll stay with me forever. And I remember, Stan, when I got home back to Georgia, I heard a radio announcement. It said, "This just in. Pigs flying out of people's butts. Hell has frozen over, and the Falcons are in the Super Bowl."
That is too good. Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh.
I've loved him ever since.
Yeah. I think it was. I mean, he was in the record books. It's like one of the high scoring players of all time.
Oh yeah, because he kicked forever.
Yeah, forever. Yeah.
He kicked for the Saints, and then the Falcons.
Yeah, right. I think, and I think he's the only person that leads both two different franchises in points scored.
Right. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Morton Anderson, love him, ageless. Here's the name for you: Billy White Shoes Johnson.
All right, so that's a little before my time.
Yeah, that's when I was young, but he was. That's when everybody wore black shoes, and he broke out the white shoes and started to trend so fast. Kick returner, punt returner extraordinaire. See if you know this name, Jesse Tuckle.
Oh yes, the Hammer.
Yes, the Hammer. Great linebacker. William Andrews.
Anyway, Jesse Tuckle, isn't that Grady Jarrett's dad?
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure. Like, man, I'm getting stuff wrong. Don't let me.
I know he had a son that played in the NFL. I didn't know it was Grady Jarrett. I thought his son was named after him, but you would know more than me probably.
All right, who was your next one?
William Andrews, running back out of Auburn, back in the '80s. A lot like just a hoss of a running back.
Yeah, Jesse Tuckle is Grady Jarrett's dad. Sorry.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I didn't. I got him mixed up. Yeah.
So, my favorite all times. I have a couple of names that are present right now on the team. Brian and Julio are in this list. Then I got Tony G. Even though he wasn't here long, he made his career.
He's one of my three. So
I have some other names that won't make the cut in the end, but just some good names. I'll say them fast. Chris Chandler, who quarterback.
That's so funny. Yeah, I remember him the most because when I was like really impressionable, like being young like that, and I remember Chris Chandler. Like, yeah, I remember all those teams.
Loved him. Algie Crumpler.
Oh yeah, yeah, big old tight end.
Big tight end. Turner, the burner, Michael Turner, the running back. Loved him.
He's on my list.
Is he?
I think he's the running back of the. He's on the all-decade team for the 2000s.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a running back you may not remember, and I shouldn't say it because he's from Georgia Tech, but I loved him. Keith Brooking.
Keith? Wait a minute. No, he's not a running back. He was a linebacker.
I mean, linebacker. Did I say running back? I meant linebacker.
Yeah, he's a running back. Yeah, linebacker.
Great linebacker out of Tech, and he was so good.
He was insane, too, man. I remember him he looked like, I don't know why, but him and Brian Cushing that visual of, like, just being intense and, like, yeah. Brian Cushing was a little insane, but yeah.
We had a wide receiver back in the day with Bartkowski named Alfred Jenkins. As a boy, I pretended I was him. Loved him.
Nice.
Still holds the most yards in a season, I think, for a receiver.
Wow. Okay.
I read that if that's correct.
I believe it.
I got two more names on this list.
Okay.
You have to include Jeff Van Note.
Oh, well, yeah. That's a
he's
given.
an offensive lineman. It's maybe not as exciting, but he's a great Falcon.
Right.
And then the next one I'm going to say.
You haven't. I know it's coming. Go ahead.
It's controversial.
Of course.
I loved him.
Absolutely. You should.
Mike Vick.
He is a cheat code. It doesn't. He was a cheat code. Madden 2004. It was ridiculous. It was like you have to when you sat down, they were like, "All right, you can play, but you can't play Vick. You got to change the." It's like, no, dude. Ask me who I've been rooting for my entire life. The Falcons. Okay. I'm playing the Falcons. Okay, and I'm playing Vick. It's like, no, you can't do that. It's like, I'm a Falcons fan. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah. So Mike Vick is. Oh my gosh! Yes.
We traded up to get the number one pick to get him. I loved that move. It was worth it. We took a church group to see them play the Cincinnati Bengals one time, and we were way up high in the Georgia Dome. And And he came out to the outside, and it was crazy because from that angle, it's different than TV. You could see the angles that people had on him.
And it didn't matter.
Didn't matter. It was
Didn't
crazy.
matter. Another gear. And even when he revived his career, even in Philadelphia, he had some magical moments of that crazy Christmas game, and then even at the end of his career at the Steelers, he was still making play. I mean, left-handed, throwing the ball on the line, and that's what they were saying. Like they said, like that he had a hard time throwing like the 10-yard slants because he would like throw it so hard that it would just like it would go through their hands. Like he had to put like touch on the ball. Like he would throw it so hard. Oh my gosh, that's all right. So Chris, there's your 17 names. Who's number one?
I'm just sitting here thinking about that, and it's so hard. I mean, I can tell you the ones who would be in contention would be Tony Gonzalez, but he probably wouldn't win because it wasn't as many years.
Right.
But for the years he was here, he might have been my favorite.
Me and my friend, he was like the human pillow. He just never got hit. You never saw him get thumped. He always like eased himself down to the ground, always got out of bounds. You never saw him take that jarring shot. Like you see like Devontae Freeman run. It's just like aggressive. He was aggressive, but like it was always jerky and like he would take hits and it was jarring. But Tony Gonzalez him and Jason Witten never seemed to really get like stuck by like a real big hit.
Yeah, and the hands were none. Second to none.
Second to none. Like basketball out there, he's out there getting boards at UCLA. Like it's ridiculous.
He would get quarterbacks in practice to throw him the worst passes they could at him. He didn't want good passes. He wanted terrible ones.
I remember against the Eagles going top shelf. It was for like, and he's tall anyway, but like, so if you like just look at that like pass in a vacuum, like how like you saying like the worst pass possible, and just skying up and having the awareness to toe touch at the end zone. Oh, he was incredible. Poetry in motion.
Yeah,
Tony G will always have a place in my heart.
I'd put him in the list. If I had a top Final Four, it'd be him. I think it'd be Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
I love Deion. I love Too Legit to Quit. How much fun the Dirty Birds and dances.
Yeah.
Mike Vick would have to be there just because the electricity and the fun. And you'll probably be shocked at the fourth one. But
okay,
Matt Ryan.
Oh,
dude, his first pass.
Yeah,
remember his first pass?
60 yards, I think. Yeah, 60-yard touchdown.
Detroit.
Yeah, Michael Jenkins.
And he was like the third pick in the draft. And I remember when we picked him, I was kind of down on him because I thought Boston College. Who they play? And he has just been the consummate professional.
I'm telling you.
He gets overlooked. I listened to one of your earlier podcasts where they were talking about the top 100s and where he was ranked was just
this larceny.
People over just awful. And so he's won me over, and I like his presence, and he's going to be great for the game afterwards if he stays in it. Because if you hear him interviewed, he's phenomenal at that. Just a great leader.
And I like
I
like the sound bites where he gets a little fiery with his language and telling other people what to do. Yeah, not, you think of the clean cut this guy. Oh, Matt Ryan's this, but like you watch him in practice and go and watching some of his coaching stuff. He's like he's got a little Boston in him. He's like, no, you do this. So I'm with you on that.
So for my winner, I'm going to go off the reservation a little bit as I think about it. And I might change my mind tomorrow, but I'm going Tony G.
Tony G wins it all.
The joy he brought with he never dropped a pass. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And he was such a smiley personality. Everybody loved him. He went to his first playoff game. Like too good. He's definitely brings, like you said, like a good song will bring back emotion. Like when you think of like Tony G, like the emotions that are surrounded him are like, man, just like bubbly and fun. Yeah.
Who's your?
Sure. Okay, so mine, I don't have this illustrious of list as you do, but like the finalists I came up with were Matt. It's all pretty current. I mean, I had people on my list like I did what you did, but I just didn't. I just ran through it real quick, but like Michael Turner, I just loved the play style. It was just like the bowling ball, hard to bring down, just like hard nose like that, like Jesse Tuggle. and then just like tough, like even like offensive linemen, like the Mud Duck, like Harvey, that whole group, like Harvey Dahl and all those guys like Todd McClure and all that stuff. But so it's got to be top four would be like Julio, Vic, Tony G was actually in mine. Matt Bryant was actually like,
oh yeah,
I call, and this is terrible, and I hope probably have to apologize in person if I ever meet him. But I always call him like SpongeBob SquarePants because he was like so like square, like body frame. It's like a SpongeBob SquarePants at it again, and he was money. And so he just had some magical like kicks, and so but yeah, it was Julio, Tony G. Can
I give you a quick funny story for our podcast?
Yeah, hit me.
So you and I have a mutual friend who I don't really want to say his name. I'll tell you later.
Okay. This is going great. I'm excited to hear this story.
Who was working tickets at the Georgia Dome for the Falcons season.
Okay.
And he would go over there every Sunday, and this one particular game he got put on the sideline to keep people away from the sideline. So he's standing down the sideline, and he apparently was looking toward the stands and not paying attention. And Matt Bryant came over to kick a few into the net to warm up his net.
Yeah.
And our friend like backed into his personal space.
Oh my!
And Matt Bryant shoved him, shoved him,
but like
cursed him out.
What?
Yes. And so forever when I think of Matt Bryant, I just laugh. I laugh.
Yeah. That is too funny. What year was that? Was that like
7 years ago, something like that?
That is crazy. That is an awesome story, man. That's funny. Yeah. All right. So
who's your number one?
Okay. So my number one, Matt Ryan. Okay. So I'm going with. You said you went Matt Ryan. Is that what
I went Tony G.
Oh, you went Tony G. Sorry. Yeah. So you went Tony G. Mine's gonna be Julio.
That's a great choice
because he's doing what he's doing counterculturally. From the diva wide receiver of the big personality and stuff. I wish he had a little bit bigger personality because I love that stuff, man. I'll get out there talking like Moss and stuff. But he's gonna be at the end of his career. He's gonna be spoken about in the same category as Moss, as Larry Fitzgerald, and as Jerry Rice. He's going to be talked about in the Mount Rushmore at the end of his career. And he's the best receiver in the National Football right now. Somebody email me. We can have that conversation all day long. It's fine.
I agree 100%. My daughter Jordan, when she listens to this podcast, is going to be angry with me for even questioning it and not being Julio. He's her favorite player of all time as a Falcon or anybody. So she loves him. Yeah. So Jordan, forgive me. I'm with you. I like Julio too. He's up there.
There's so many good answers. I mean, so many good, so many good players too.
So I told you I had a surprise for you.
Yeah.
And you might not be comfortable doing this.
Oh,
but goodness. I couldn't help it because it's the way I think.
Okay.
Who's your all-time least favorite Falcon?
Oh.
And
this could be okay. So man, so like things like just not. It's not even playing bad. Maybe it's just like it has a lot of like playing bad or like costing.
Yeah.
Costing big games, and oh my gosh, this is okay. I'm gonna say it, and it's really controversial, but Harry Douglas. He bothered me so bad, and I'm gonna have to apologize to him in person. If I ever meet him, I'll shake his hand and give him a hug. But like on the radio, he'll like talk big about like how good of a receiver he was, or like that kind of thing. But like I don't know, like he tripped over the 30-yard line on the way to the Super Bowl. But like he was good, but he wasn't all that, and he thought he was all that, and that really, I think, really got under my skin. He went to Tennessee, and he didn't do much over there, but like, I think he's one of my least favorite Falcons of all time. And like receivers that just had bricks for hands, they like bother me, but like something like that, or even other players that have like bad attitudes or like just not wanting to play. I feel like would be, and it would be considered in the bottom or the top of the least favorite, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give you.
I think I might know yours.
Lead up 5 and then the 1. It'll be very fast.
I think I know yours. Yeah, go ahead.
Vic Beasley.
All right. So I thought you were gonna go that number 1. That was my guess. You were gonna put number 1.
He's not the most hated. I'm gonna say that one for last, but he's one of them because we picked him instead of Todd Gurley. Now at least we get Gurley back. Desmond
True. Whoa. Okay. Okay. All right.
He got burned or pass interference. It seemed like every pass.
No, that was. Listen, he wasn't even as bad as he might be on your list too. But Robert Alford, man.
Yeah. What'd they call him? Alford Island or something?
I don't know. I called it the human pass interference.
It was every play for him. Ray Buchanan.
Oh, of course.
Prior to the Super Bowl.
I didn't even consider that. Yep.
Chris Miller for wearing his hat backwards.
Oh, okay.
You remember him?
No, but wearing his hat backwards, I'm going to go research that.
Not Chris Miller. Not Chris Miller. I like Chris Miller. The quarterback from Indiana. He played for Indiana. He had a great arm.
Okay, hang on.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
A ridiculous good arm. And he was the quarterback, but he was just, well, that'll come to us. Let me tell you my number 1 most hated Falcon of all time, and I don't think this will ever change. You ready? Kyle Shanahan.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's Jeff George. Is that who you think
Jeff George, yes. Jeff George. That's who I was trying to say. I love Chris Miller. Jeff George is who I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay. There we go. No. Kyle Shanahan. Okay, so I have like really mixed emotions about that. It's like in my head, I'm like, if you just not took that coaching job, we could have did things. But like, he went and had his own ship and did the same exact thing for the Falcons that he did, or the San Francisco that he did for the Falcons, and like blew a 10-point lead in the biggest game of his life. So like,
I don't want to wish evil on others, but the carnal side of me was kind of glad that happened to them too.
Oh, listen, I was just so glad to not be on the butt end of like, all right, well, I had was like 2 different things. I had like in my emotions, I was like, all right, if he does this, his name's going to be attached to the Falcons, and like it's going to be in every conversation. Oh, he got over the hump with them, but if he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to be praised and lauded, and we're still going to be attached to him. And I'm about to hear about this because he went over out. But if he blows this, I'm like secretly rooting. It's like, dude, if he blows this lead, he'll never live this down. And it kind of just like gets the Falcons one more step from like the butt of everybody's joke, like out like separation, like degrees of separation.
The pain of that experience. And maybe, of course, a lot of it falls on Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
But as an offensive coordinator, when we could have knelt on the ball and
kicked a field goal and walked away.
Walked away, now you get a chance to winning. It's hard to ever let that go.
That's going to hurt for a long time.
But no more thinking about that, right?
No, for sure not. So, do you think they're going to – this is a bonus question. Do you think they'll start the season? And do you think they'll finish the season?
Yes. And yes.
You are the eternal optimist.
I am. And I feel like I don't know yet what they'll do with fans.
Well, they've come out and said that some stadiums are going to allow to have fans across the NFL. The Falcons.
I hope they will.
Yeah.
And I don't go to many games because of the time they are in my work, but still, I hope they will, because it's hard to imagine football without fans. Baseball
Right.
maybe, but not football.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think they'll start the season, and I think they'll finish it.
Yeah.
That
So-
might just be optimism talking, but hey, that's who I am.
That's who you are. And so I am optimistic as well. I think for sure they'll start, but I don't think they'll finish. There's just so many variables. It takes one team to go down, but the baseball has powered through it, and they're trying to do something. You know, the Cardinals
The good news is, unlike baseball, they're playing once a week, and it's not like a NBA or baseball where it's you
multiple, right?
Can't catch up those games. In baseball, might not even have the same number of games played, and that's
right.
They
had mathematically play triple headers from here on out to
and they couldn't do that obviously in football. So I can see problems that would arise, of course, but I'm just trying to stay positive.
Well, too, like you said, having another additional advantage that the NFL has is seeing other leagues pitfalls and what they've done and what the protocols and stuff like that. So hearing Ricardo Allen talking about there was an interview on the radio station that Ricardo Allen came in and he just gave you a peek behind the curtain of how training camp is in COVID-19 protocols, and they all have a wristband on that it senses if you're closer. They all have an electronic wristband on.
Wow!
And if you're within 6 feet of the other wristband, it'll beep and turn red, and so you have to back up till it's green.
Well, with its nearly unlimited resources, if anybody can do it, the NFL can.
Right? They print money, so
yeah.
So for sure. All right. Well, Chris, what an electric podcast, and I think we had covered some good ground, and I thank you for joining me. And if you want
Thank you for having me. I love every second.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Rise Up Radar. If you like what you heard, go ahead and subscribe, rate, and review. And if you have any questions, if you have any show suggestions, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. And thank you for listening again. And until next time, rise up.